Okay, Tim, 100 times.
100 times what, DJ?
Yeah, great question. So that's how much more likely you are to reach a lead if you call them back within 5 minutes instead of 30 minutes.
Wow. So 100 times more likely.
Yeah, and that's not just an exaggeration or a number that we made up. It's 100 times more likely, not 10, not twice as likely, 100 times. And the average real estate agent responds to an online lead, this is crazy, in 15 hours.
15 hours?
Yeah, I'm DJ Paris. That's Tim Littleton. This is Coffee Talk. Today, we are talking about the silent killer of your lead pipeline. And it's not your scripts, it's not your marketing budget, it's a clock. And it's already running on every lead you have right now.
Okay. So, DJ, you said 100 times. Where does that come from?
Yeah, funny enough, it comes from MIT. And the Harvard Business Review published it, which makes it more confusing. But between those two universities, they put this together. They analyzed over 1 million leads across different industries. And the finding was consistent across industries. People who respond within 5 minutes, you are 100 times more likely to actually reach that lead and have a real conversation versus responding at the 30-minute mark, which also seems very reasonable, but it just 5 minutes is the magic number.
So, DJ, I want to push back on that just a little bit because
Okay.
that sounds absolutely insane.
Yeah, go ahead and push back.
Okay. So, 100 times feels like marketing math, like someone needed to provide a scary number.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Here's why it's actually real. So you have to think about what's happening in the moment someone fills out a form. They're sitting there, their phone's in their hand. They just took an action. That's peak motivation, right? They're mentally available. They're expecting something to happen. Every minute after that, their attention fragments. They get a text. They start dinner. Their motivation cools. By hour 15,
They've forgotten they even submitted a form.
completely forgot, or they've already talked to two other agents who did call back and they're already scheduling showings.
And the National Association of Realtors says, what, 96% of buyers start online now?
Yeah, that's correct. 96% use the internet somewhere in their search. And that's not a niche anymore. That's basically everybody.
So it really isn't just a Zillow lead problem. This is a whole pipeline issue.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I want agents to really sit with. You're not losing to better agents, you're losing to faster agents.
Yeah. So that one's going to sting a little bit to some people out there.
Yeah, it should sting because skill, reputation, mutual knowledge, none of that gets activated if you're not if you're not the one that picked up the phone first, right? So if this has happened to you, drop late in the comments. Don't be ashamed. We've all done it. But you found out a lead you had went with someone else and it still stings.
Yes, because this is such a fixable problem.
Completely fixable. And that's exactly where we're going next.
So why, DJ? Why are agents waiting 15 hours? Is this intentional? They're not trying to completely blow the lead.
Yeah, I agree. Three reasons. First, nobody told them that this window exists. They don't know about the 5 minute clock. They treat it like a voicemail. It'll keep, but it won't.
So, and my wife and her family would love this. It's kind of like a souffle. You don't come back to it, later.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Second, lead notifications are scattered everywhere. Your CRM emails you, the app pings you, Zillow texts you, but you're in a showing, you're in a listing appointment, you're even at maybe your kid's soccer game. By the time you see it,
3 hours probably go by.
yeah, at minimum, right? And then there's the third reason. This is the one most people don't want to admit. Agents, they wait until they're ready. They want to pull up the address. They want to research the listing. They know who they're talking to. It's they want to be prepared.
Which sounds professional.
It does sound professional and it costs you the deal. So the lead doesn't care that you know the school district. They care that you're alive and paying attention. Agents are optimizing for the quality of the call when they should be optimizing for the speed of the call.
So You're calling before you know anything.
Yeah. You call before the clock runs out. That's the important part. And then you can learn everything later. Now, after the show, we're going to ask you to do one thing, which is pull up your last 5 leads, wherever they live, your CRM, email, Zillow, wherever, and look at the gap between when the lead came in and when you first responded. Write that number down because the system we're about to show you exists to change it.
And that number is going to mean something different to you by the end of this show.
Yeah. What's the system called?
I believe it's called the 5-minute rule. So 3 components. Let's go ahead and build it.
All right. The 5-minute rule. So 3 components, as Tim said. Each one takes about 10 minutes to set up once. Together, they solve the problem permanently.
All right, DJ, hit me with component 1.
Okay. First is auto acknowledge. The second a lead hits, any source, any form, any platform, they get an automated text, not an email, text. Something like, hey, John, this is DJ at KL Realty. Just saw your request. I'll be calling you in the next few minutes. That's it. Short, human, no pitch.
So they know you're real before you even call.
Yeah, they know you're real. They know you're fast. And now they're expecting your call. Meanwhile, most agents are sending nothing or a generic email that goes to spam. You've already separated yourself and you haven't said a single word yet.
Okay, DJ. So how do you actually set that up though? Like technically for someone who's not super CRM tech savvy?
Yeah, here's the good news. Every CRM that's worth its salt, which is probably the one you're currently using, has this feature. Whether it's Real Geeks, Follow Up Boss, Lion Desk, KV Core, Sierra, whatever. They all have automated text triggers. You set a rule, lead comes in, text fires. Google your CRM automated text lead trigger, and it's a 10-minute YouTube video tutorial. Set it once, runs forever.
Okay, DJ, component number 2.
Okay, now this is the important one, the live call. So this is within that actual 5-minute window. When the lead hits, your job is simple. Stop what you're doing and call. Not in a few minutes, now. And here's the script, because agents always want a good script. So are we ready to hear this script?
Give it to him, DJ.
Okay, it's so simple and easy. Hey, John, this is DJ. Just got your request. Wanted to reach out right away. Is now a good time for 2 minutes?
So 2 minutes, you're not pitching them?
No, the goal of the first call is very simple. It's to schedule the second call, right? So that's it. You're not trying to close them. You're trying to make them feel better and makes it feel like what they submitted online was a smart move, right? The whole vibe is I'm responsive, I'm real. Let's talk when you have time.
Okay, that actually takes the pressure off. You don't have to have your entire pitch ready for them.
Right. You don't have to even know much about the property. You don't have to know anything. You just have to or anything about them. You just basically are first to call.
That's very smart, DJ. All right, so let's do component number 3.
Yeah, this is the 3-touch sequence because most of them will not answer on that first call, and that's okay. But most agents, they're going to give up after that first attempt.
Okay, so how many attempts are we talking about?
Yeah, there's some good data on this. So the best data I found says that research says it takes an average of 6 touches to reach a lead. 6 touches, but most agents only make 1.3 touches.
Wow. So 1 1/3.
Yeah, I don't even know what a third means, but it basically means less than 2, right? So 1 call, no answer. The lead goes cold forever. And here's the sequence that actually works. So remember, we're going to call immediately. That's the live call. We're going to text right after. Hey, just tried to reach you. Happy to connect whenever works for you. Call again later that evening. If still nothing, email day 2, a brief and human quick email. 1 final call day 3. After that, they go into long-term nurture and you've done your job.
And that's the whole system right there. Auto acknowledge, live call, 3-touch sequence.
Yeah, I want to go through it one more time because I know I said it kind of quickly, but this is the important part, right? So you call right away. That's the live call. You're going to text right after. Hey, just tried to reach you. Happy to connect whenever you're free. Call again later that day or that evening, probably evening if possible. And if it's the evening when you got it, call the next morning. But if still nothing, email on day 2. simple, quick email, and then on day 3, another call, and then from there they go into long term. So that's the 5-minute rule, guys. And the gap number we mentioned earlier, the time between when your leads came in and when you called, that number really, it's your current cost. The system is the fix. So drop 5 in the comments if you're wanting to implement this.
Okay, DJ. So here's the thing. I know a lot of brokers out there, good brokers, busy brokers who don't work online leads at all. Their whole business is set up through their sphere of influence, referrals, past clients. They don't have Zillow forms coming in. Is any of this relevant to them, or can they honestly just tune this whole thing out?
So yeah, great question. Honest answer. The literal framework, which is setting up CRM text triggers for online leads, no, that's really not their issue.
Okay, so they can check out of this.
Well, they can't check out, funny enough. So here's the question I'd ask every referral-based agent. When someone texts you asking to see a house, a person that's a past client or a past client they referred to, that referred someone, how fast do you respond? Pretty fast, right? So
yeah,
because it's a lead, right? So the 5-minute rule, it's not just for online leads, it's about responsiveness and having a standard. So when your past client says, hey, call my agent, to a referral, and then that person texts you and waits 2 hours for a reply, your past client, they kind of look bad, right? And then you look bad, and you will never get another referral from that person.
So what you're saying is the referral agent is actually at more risk of blowing this because it's a relationship on the line. It's not just like a cold lead.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the specific fix for referral-based agents. So create what I call a response SLA for yourself. Business hours and any inbound inquiry, text, call, referral, anything. You get one of these that come in, then are they going to get a response in 5 minutes? And the answer should be yes. And in your phone contacts for every active referral source, put a note, 5-minute SLA. Now, when they send you someone, you see the note, the clock is already starting in your head.
So the principle is universal and speed is respect.
Speed is respect. Whether it's a Zillow form or your best client's neighbor, somebody reached out to you, the clock started, 5 minutes. So I want to put some dollars to this. And this is for, average agent, mid-range market, average commission, let's say $8,000. Okay. So you're generating 10 online leads a month or 10 referrals a month, maybe through your site, Zillow ads, past clients, whatever.
10 leads a month.
Mm-hmm. Remember, we said the average agent takes 15 hours to respond. So at a 15-hour average response time, you're converting maybe one of those, maybe 2 on a good month. That's the real world math.
So basically like 1 or 2 deals out of 10 leads.
Yeah, maybe 20% at most. So conservative estimates, if you implement the 5-minute rule, you go from 1 to 3 conversions, or 2 to 4, really. So studies on response time consistently show conversion rates jump 2 to 4 times with fast follow-up. So let's call it 2 extra deals a month.
So 2 extra deals at $8,000 each.
Yeah, that's $16,000 a month, not from more leads, not from bigger a marketing budget, from calling back faster.
So, and I'm not great with math, that's like about $190,000 a year?
Just under, $192,000. That's right. So, but let's flip it. So every month when you don't have this system, you're losing $16,000. So you're leaving it on the table, not hypothetically, actually. The leads came in, you paid for them, or they were referrals, and the pipeline is generating, but you're just not picking it up.
Yeah, the leads aren't broken.
Yeah, the response is broken, and that's fixable today. And I want to just make a quick point for those of us that say, what happens if I'm with my family, if I'm doing something with them? Well, I think this is where you have to decide, how successful do you want to be? And I'm not here to say that you should always answer every lead when you're in the middle of something important, maybe with friends or family. Maybe you shouldn't. But this is a conversation as an agent you need to have with your family and explain to them, if a lead comes in, I have to grab it. And maybe you set some boundaries where there's times where you won't, but you have to have this agreement with your family, because these leads are not going to come in on your timetable. So you have to know, what is the family okay with? Because I promise you, top agents, they do this. They have these conversations. And if you explain this to your children and your family, and you're also a very present parent, they're going to understand, because they know this is dad's mom or dad's job, and they need to grow this business. So again, I know that isn't the easiest thing to do, but that's only if you don't have the conversation with the loved ones. If you just do it and they're not expecting it, that's probably going to annoy them, and they're probably not going to be happy. But you need to have this agreement with your family. Okay. So I want 3 things that you guys can do the moment we finish this video.
Okay. Number 1.
Okay, pull up your last 5 leads, find that gap number, the time between when the lead came in and when you responded. So write it down. That's your baseline, and that's what you're fixing.
Number 2.
Okay, you're going to open up your CRM, and you're going to set your auto acknowledge trigger for texts, right? Lead comes in, text fires automatically. It's a 10-minute setup. Google it. You'll find it on a little video on YouTube, and set it up, or just call your CRM. They'll show you.
Number 3.
Yeah. Write down your live script call, right? So just got your request, is now a good time for 2 minutes. And then also build your 3-touch sequence as a workflow in your CRM. Call, text, call, email, call. So again, call, text, call, email, call over 3 days, 15 minutes. You set it up, it's done forever.
And here's the truth. 97%, of agents watching this are going to nod and then just move on. Yeah. Be the 3% who actually do this. That's really not a crowded group, and your competition is counting on you to stay in the majority.
I used to work at a firm, not real estate related, where the top salesperson, and this person was a mega millionaire, and he was the top guy in the office by like 100-fold. And he would say, I will tell all of you everything I do every day, and it doesn't worry me because none of you are going to do it. And he would literally say, I do this in the morning. And it was like, oh my God. And so there are no secrets here. Like, most people who watch this, unfortunately, won't take action. We're not judging you, but be one of the people that does take action, because you will be maybe 3% of the people watching this will. If you do that, I promise you will make more money. So this is the reality of the way leads come in. At every agent, we all have gap numbers. So from today, yours is 5 minutes. And by the way, I have the same philosophy for when leads come in. For me as a recruiter, we get leads come in, and I assume that person has filled out other company lead forms. I assume that we're not the only firm they're checking out, obviously, right? They're going to look at 3 to 4 other firms. I want to be that first phone call, assuming they all do them at roughly the same time. But I don't know when they're doing it. I could be the last person, the last firm that they reached out to, and they already reached out to 3 other firms. I want to be the one that, as soon as they send that request in, within 5 minutes, I've either called them, or if I can't call them, I text them. So for me, it's a little different. I call because these are people that are typically expecting a call, but I text as well if I can't get them. So anyway, every agent, please do this. All of our listeners, we appreciate you. Please tell another agent about Coffee Talk. We do this every Wednesday. By the way, if you're an agent in the Chicagoland area, and if you are not getting the help that you deserve from your firm, and I will give you Tim, I'll tell you this very quick story because it blew my mind. This is absolutely true. So I think it was last week or maybe the week before, I get a lead. Somebody comes in, or they send in a lead form, and they're at a very prestigious firm. I won't say who. And they said, yeah, I'm thinking of coming to Kale. And I was like so excited because they're a big producer. And anyway, I don't get a ton of leads like that over the year where people just randomly reach out. And I got real excited. I immediately called her and I said, hey, what's going on? I said, what's going on at your firm? Why are you thinking of leaving? Because I want to know. And because it didn't make sense. I was like, why would she be leaving this firm? She said, I had to do a rental listing in a different part of Chicago. No, it was a suburb of Chicago. She's a city agent. She's like, I didn't know which lease form to use because, like sometimes townships have their own forms or whatever. So she says, I called my managing broker. No, I emailed my managing broker. She didn't even call and said, hey, which lease do I use or what contract or whatever it was. And the no joke, the managing broker, who I know, that's why I'm not going to say any names, wrote back and said, Google is a wonderful tool. Like that's what she said to her one of her not top agents, but like a good producing agent. So and she goes, why am I giving this person 20% of my income when that was now? Actually, I take that back. They did answer the question. They said, well, you use this one, and then underneath it, Google is a wonderful tool, just to make sure she felt extra shitty about asking her managing broker, the person you are supposed to ask. So anyway, if this is you, and probably it isn't, I'm sure all of us who are listening are at good firms where you're getting good support, but my mind is blown from this. So if you are at a firm like that, we would never allow that to happen in our firm. I promise you, nobody would stay here if we did something like that. And that person would be fired immediately if they spoke like that to one of our agents. But if you aren't getting the support you need, reach out to Tim or myself. We'd be happy to tell you more about what we offer. But anyway, Tim, another great episode. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of our listeners. Please tell a friend about this. We will see everybody on the next episode. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.